So I'm originally from Mexico City, but I'm currently residing in Houston, Texas. I am what you would call a bioinformatician or computational biologist. And what I do is that I use computational tools such as programming and analytics, um, big data and data science to ask biological questions and leverage all the information that we already have to look for answers through our biological data.
That's fascinating. What's your educational background?
Well, my educational background is an interesting one. In Mexico, when I was about your age, they created a new undergrad program called Genome Sciences. Up to that point, I was planning to go to biology or biomedical research, but I had the opportunity due to one of my high school professors of learning about about these new bachelors, and we went to a presentation where I saw all these analytics and talking about biology and databases, and my mind was super blown. And uh, I was very lucky because I really didn't know that that was a thing. I liked a lot to do programming, but I thought, okay, well, I'll just go and do biology, and that will be it. Even in high school, like there was nobody really that told me like you actually do computer things, a lot of computer things in biology. Uh, but I had the opportunity. I finished my bachelor's. I came to Baylor College of Medicine. It's a really good school that has a very strong genetics department and a lot of graduate programs. I was very uh, I was very lucky because I participated in the equivalent to your to a summer camp and came to Baylor 2 years before, and was in Brendan Lee's laboratory. He's one of the genetics professors, and that opportunity gave me the really good tools to be able to put forward a strong application for grad school. I was interviewed, and thankfully I was able to come here. And here I did a short stint at the Human Genome Sequencing Center. At that point, I was very interested in cancer biology, and they were releasing something called the Cancer Genome Atlas, where it was just sequencing all these tumor normals. And we had like these big sequencing machines, and I was able to analyze some of that data. But I moved into another laboratory that was more wet lab focused because they had a little bit of other data. Like smaller labs were starting to generate sequencing data and a lot of data. And there were also very interesting biological questions, but few people had the ability to feel comfortable using analytical tools to answer those questions. And so I jumped at the opportunity. So I joined Baylor Genetics, which is a clinical genetics company. I know the names are similar, but in here it is what we do is that if you had a sequence, if you have a baby and got, there's a problem, an unfortunate problem, people will start trying to find if the condition is genetic. And there's genetic conditions we know of that we can test, and this provides the parents with a diagnostic certainty and the ability to uh, I don't know look into it and manage it, the disease, or at least like figure out what's going on. So we go from very small panels of genes for targeted diseases that we know of to being able to sequence the whole genome of a patient and trying to figure out what happened or what are the possible changes that or the possible mutations that a person could have. And this gave me the opportunity to see two things. Number one, it's that concept of the clinical application of many of these abstract and very cool concepts. But number two, it gave me the exposition of okay, how does science in the industry happen? So I've been doing that, and now I have been coming a little bit back more to my academic roots. I came back. I'm at the genetics department, and I have been doing everything from using the doing more of this genetic analysis to doing jumping into more machine learning, and now I'm trying to do some image analysis. So it has been like a very interesting stage at this point, I guess.
Have you ever encountered any obstacles in your line of work based on race?
I haven't, at least not that I have noticed at the first chance. But what I have encountered is that I probably know like another 2 or 3 Hispanics and doing something similar to this. And only one of those is a woman. Whereas I have seen, okay, it's mostly a male-dominated field still, but the women that I have seen, like let's say, we are probably like a third of the people. But I could say that for every 100 non-Hispanic women, there is one of us. So it's unusual, especially in this field. It does get lonely, or like that's not something that you can share. Everybody likes the Rosca de Reyes and the Pan de Muerto and like the Hispanic parts. So I like to share those things, but it's very different from I don't know, like as I said, like I grew up in Mexico, and so I know a lot of my actually like a lot of the people in the field that are Hispanic that I know are because they did the same that I did, like they studied and they came over. But I don't see I think I know only 1 or 2 other people, 2 other females here that I know that they studied and came here, but and are from here, and they are in the same field as me.
I hope we get more.
Yes, definitely. It's a very I would tell you it's a very interesting field. I know it's intimidating, and some people don't. I don't know if it's like they think it's like not sexy or something, but how do you say it? Like it gives you a lot of skills that are very transferable. You have to learn how to program, and I mean, I'm not sure. I don't know if they teach you to the general high school population how to program, but knowing how to program or knowing how to interact with a computer today, it's an important skill in almost any discipline. It
What's your best piece of advice for young aspiring biologists?
I think it's well, number one, it's there's these opportunities. Number two, do not be intimidated. Like you are not bringing you in, or like do your study hard, and don't be intimidated. You belong in the place. Like don't be scared. You're as smart as everybody else. You can be like leader in anybody else, and don't get disappointed in it being challenging. Science has a way of not being forgiving with anybody.
Well, thank you so much for your time today, Rosira. And thank you for your contributions to the field. Have a
Thank
lovely
you.
day.
Thank you, Samantha. I really enjoyed talking to you.